and welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna work on this Mazda 3. We're gonna be replacing the transmission mount. Transmission mount is located underneath the battery around this area, but we have to remove all this to be able to have access to it. The mount looks something like this. Now I ordered the whole kit through Amazon. I got the whole kit for engine mounts and transmission mounts. The whole kit comes with what it looks like, 4 parts, 4 mounts. I'll leave the link in the description for the parts that I use here in case you want to use the same parts. But this is the way it looks, guys. That's 1 bolt in the center and 4 on the sides, 2 on each side. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna support the transmission with a jack. But I would suggest for you to place a piece of wood like this on the jack and then jack up the transmission just a little bit, just to support it. Put this underneath where the oil pan is for the transmission. I'll show you how I do it. Hold on. Okay, so I got the jack underneath, I got the board, and that's where I kind of want it. So I'm going to start jacking it up. I'll show you. So all I want to do is support the transmission. Something like that. Maybe a little bit more. That's it. Because when we take the mount out, the transmission is going to want to drop. Man, that pan is rusty. Oh boy. So yeah, you don't want to put a lot of force on that. Just support it. If it was nice and flat, then I would put it in the center, but it's not. It sits on an angle. So that should be good enough to support the tranny. All right, now we get started. We're gonna go ahead and remove the battery, and then this whole plastic tray that holds the battery with the computer. Go ahead and remove this. We're gonna get started. Man, I hope you can see this. The sun is kind of, I don't know if you can see it. Battery, the whole tray we're gonna remove, and maybe even the airbox. Right, now that the battery's out, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this whole box. I'm gonna disconnect the computer, and I'm gonna take some bolts out that usually has 1, 2, 3 bolts, but it only has 2. There's one, another one. We're gonna go ahead and remove the box with the computer. And there you have it, guys. The box is out with the computer. Now we have access to the mount. Let me see if I can. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to remove this because it has 2 bolts here, and then the other 2 bolts on the side. Can't really get to them without removing this. These plugs, they connect. We have to squeeze this part down as you pull up on this. Okay, that's the way that works. You've got to press on here, a tab, and then you pull up on this, and the plug will pull out of the transmission. Don't try to force it. That's the way it looks. Press down on this part from the front, and then pull up on the white part. They're both the same. All right, we're gonna go ahead and remove this, the airbox. So after further inspection, I don't think I have to remove the airbox because I can see the 2 bolts. There's both of them right there, the 2 nuts. There's 2 here and there's 2 there. I should be able to get to them right through here. Not that it's a big deal to take the box off. If you need to, then go ahead, but I don't think you have to. I already sprayed some PB plaster on them. I'm gonna start working on them. All right, I noticed that we have to remove these 2 bolts and take this cover off. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those 2 10 millimeters. All right, I got all the 4 nuts out, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove this piece, whatever this thing is, some kind of counterweight, I guess. I don't know what this is. Pretty heavy. Put that aside. I guess I gotta take this cover off and see what's attached to it. There might be maybe some wires attached to it. I'm gonna go ahead and probably there. See that? I'm gonna work this thing out of here. Nope. So I just noticed by wiggling this, you cannot take this out unless you take the airbox out, because the airbox actually mounts. I guess it mounts on the bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. So we have to remove that anyways, guys. Okay, so the first step you gotta do is remove the mass airflow sensor plug. Squeeze on the top and start pushing the plug out, right off of it. It comes out. Then you got this hose right here. You squeeze the blue tabs, squeeze it as you're pulling on the hose. And it disengages it, and then remove each tab on the upper part of the cover. There's another one right there, and I think there's one here, yeah, in the corner. So there's a total of 4, and remove it from here, 10 millimeter, and you should be able to take the whole thing out. If not, then remove this clamp and this clamp and leave the cover on, or remove the cover from the intake tube. But hopefully I can remove the whole thing together. So this, the 4 clips, the plug, and the hose. I'm gonna go ahead if I can pull that out. Yep, and just like that, it's out. Yep, this out is one piece. Now we remove the air filter. Now's a good time to replace it if it's dirty. And this should be able to just, it's been held with grommets onto the bracket in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off. All right, so I'm having a difficulty taking this out, and it's because we have another clip back there. You see it? That one right there. I'm gonna squeeze and pull that out of the way, and I'm gonna try it again. Everything seems to be loose. I think everything's gonna come out as one piece. Okay, so I ended up pushing down on this as I was pulling up on this with the other hand, and I got it to come apart. So it wasn't that clip that I was showing you guys. Even though that clip needs to come off. Where is it? It's over there somewhere. But I'll show you. I'll show you when I got this box off. Let me take this box off and I'll show you what's going on over there in that corner. All right, so the box is out, and these little legs, that one and this one, and then there was another one. Oh, only 2. So these 2 were part of why it wasn't coming out. It's just grommets. The legs go in here and here, and then they had the one that sits here, but it doesn't attach to anything. And then the clip that I was showing you, I didn't take it out because it holds this loom in place. So, and it's already open. Somebody was here before me. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bracket. I just gotta get it off of that, and the bracket should come out. Yep, and here's the bracket, guys. So this is the clip I was talking to you about. Where is it? Can't focus it. But anyway, the clip holds those holders for the wire harness. And if you can open them like that, then you can remove them. There's the way it looks. There you go. Easy. Now we expose the mount. And here's the mount. We're gonna go ahead and remove that center bolt, and then remove it. And there's the mount. Remove the center bolt, And I noticed that the transmission dropped a little bit, but it's supported with the jack, so it's not a big deal. I can jack it up into position if I need to, and it wasn't much. As you can tell, it's all cracked. These openings are normal, but these cracks are not. So I'm glad I'm doing it, because this is preventive maintenance. It was gonna be due anyways. But I thought, I have a noise, and I thought for sure it was gonna come out of this, and this thing was gonna be in worse shape, and it's not. But I got a new one. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, and then I'm gonna work on the other mount that is somewhere in the front over there. Alright, when you put the new motor mount on, transmission mount, don't put the nuts on here first. Put this bolt first. Make sure that you get it where it screws on to the tranny. And then once that's aligned and tight, then you do the nuts on the side, okay? Because it can move on you. Make sure you get this one. This one is important. And then the rest. Okay, that's done. So I was screwing it up. It pulled the transmission up into place where it needed to sit. That's done. It pulled the transmission up. Alright, so now the next step is to put the bracket back on. And then the nuts. Okay, after you make sure that all the 4 nuts are nice and tight and your 10mm bolts are done, make sure that you put everything back where it was, all the wire harnesses, you know, in their position where they go on the brackets. Then, now we can do the battery tray. I think I'm gonna leave the intake for the last, because I wanna kind of clean the throttle body. Okay, I put this airbox tray back in. Like I was telling you guys, just sits on the grommets. You line them up and just push it down. Line up the pipe on the bottom and the 2 grommets, and that's it. I also forgot to put this counterweight part on there, so I removed the 2 nuts and place it back in. Don't forget that. I don't know what that does. If anybody knows what that does, please let me know. It's pretty heavy. This has a big block of metal, and I don't know what it does. But anyways, back. Now I'll work on the battery tray. You guys, the tray is in, and then once you put the plugs on the computer, again, do it nice and easy. Make sure they line up and they go into place. And then you start lowering the black locking mechanism, okay? Just like so. And then once it clicks in place, then you know you're good. You don't want to mess this up, okay? You gotta be very careful. You don't want to mess up the plugs or the pins on the computer or anything like that. The longer one obviously goes to the back one. The shorter one goes to the front. It's very easy. Alright, let's move on. Now I'm going to put the battery, and then it has a front plastic piece that goes here. Alright fellas, I'm going to end the video here. Battery's back in place, so all I got to do is put the covers back on the computer and on the battery. When you put this back on, make sure you don't pinch anything. Make sure you put the pipe back on. Tighten up the 10mm bolt. Make sure you put all your clips, all your 4 clips on each corner, here and here. And don't forget to plug in your mass airflow sensor. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here. Like I said, thank you for watching. If you learned something, please like, subscribe is free, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.